Hoven here with Big Bend Yucca Company, and today I'd like to talk to you about farm-raised yuccas versus yuccas being pulled out of the wild. Normally, I really don't like talking about other people's product, but I think in this case there are a couple of very significant points that you, the consumer, should be aware of when you're purchasing plants off the internet and you don't know where they're coming from. Farm-raised is always going to be a better quality plant. It's never lacked for water, it's not been stressed, it has its youthful vigor. And you know when it's being dug and being shipped and how many days it's been out of the ground, which is really important. When you're buying a wild dug yucca, you're not sure where it's coming from, the conditions under which it has been dug, and how long it's been out of the ground by the time you receive it. And I know this because here recently, or this past year I should say, I bought one off the internet. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Can you guess which one's been raised on a farm? Yeah, it's the one on the right. It's pretty obvious. The one on the left is a yucca that I purchased off the internet. I bought it off Amazon back in April of 21. And it just really, it arrived to me looking bad, and it's not looking any better. The one on the right, well, I don't really need to say anything. It just looks a lot better. Let's take a closer look. The one on the left here, this wild dug yucca, has lost quite a few leaves, which is honestly to be expected. Or not unusual, I should say, but there's just no new growth on it yet. And it's been in the pot for 11 months. It just looks so much better. I don't need to really say anything about that. They've been given the same treatment. If anything, the one on the left, the wild dug yucca, has actually had favorable conditions in that it has been in the pot longer and was transplanted in April, which is a lot better than being transplanted in November going into winter. So the one on the left should look just as good as the one on the right, but it doesn't. And also, not only are you getting a better healthy plant when you buy farm raised, you're getting sustainability. You're getting a product that is sustainable. Anybody who tells you a wild dug is sustainable, they're not being correct. These plants being pulled out of the wild, especially here in the desert, they have very slow growth rates and propagation rates. They're just not sustainably being pulled out of the wild. That's just the bottom line right there. So given a choice, buy farm raised every time. Now let's pull these plants out of the pot and let's take a look at the roots. Let's see what's happening. Okay, I pulled both of these plants out of their pots and carefully washed away the soil. Let's take a look at what we have here. On the left is the wild dug yucca, on the right is the farm raised. Big difference. Let's zoom in here on the wild dug yucca. There's only one little root growing after 11 months. And I want you to notice the size of this root crown, how small it is, and how thin this trunk is, as opposed to the farm raised. Look at all those new roots. There's dozens of these new roots coming in. That's just such a stark difference, I'm actually surprised. And look at the root crown. That is a much bigger root crown, a much thicker trunk. So by buying farm raised, not only are you getting a better quality plant that is going to perform in your landscape, but you're also buying a plant that is sustainable. These plants coming out of Mexico, they're being dug out of the wild. They're being shipped across by the semi-load. You know that's not sustainable. This one on the right is actually seed from Mexico. They're the same plant, basically from the same locale, except one's farm raised. I think it's pretty obvious which plants you want in your landscape. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video. Y'all have a good day. This is from Big Bend Yucca Company.